Hey everybody, we are here at the Stagwell Content Studio at Cannes.
Hey,
welcome.
What's up?
What's up everybody? I am joined by Dhar Mann. I'm Christie Bishop. I'm the head of tech and entertainment for the Harris Poll. So happy that you are here today.
Thank you.
CEO and founder of Dhar Mann Studios. It's a pleasure.
I'm not the CEO anymore. I have an amazing CEO, but the founder, yes.
Wonderful. So you have completely disrupted the advertising partnership model, which I'm very excited to talk to you about today.
Thank you.
When you think about, we're just going to get into it. We don't have a lot of time.
Let's do it.
So when you think about the traditional brand partnership model, what was broken and what did you decide to fix?
I mean, I can't take credit that I'm the disruptor, right? I think it's just creators in general have been disruptors for some time. And it's not like we signed up for that. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not like we came marching and said, we're going to disrupt this system. We were just people that, were recording content, started out with like ring lights and webcams inside of our living rooms. And then we ultimately built our own direct audience, owned our content and owned our distribution, which is not something that traditionally existed. It might seem very obvious now, but in the past, everything was controlled by gatekeepers. So somebody would make the content, somebody would distribute it, somebody would own rights for international and domestic, and it was a lot of different layers that you had to go through. And so as creators came, they just happened to build this direct to consumer audience. And what the major disruption is I think that creators move at creator speed. So for instance, I got a call that a massive movie franchise was releasing a movie in 10 days and they needed us to help generate 500 million views for them in those 10 days.
Wow.
I said, bring it on. I was like, that's like more time than we usually get.
The regular marketing executives would be like, oh my God, I'm terrified. What do we do? Red tape.
Exactly. It would take like 17 meetings and like 3 different agency approvals and 15 signatures. But for us, we're like, we'll do it and we'll worry about the paperwork later. So we move a lot faster. And then we also, since we own our own audience and distribution, we can know in real time as to what is working for our audience and what they want by looking at our own data. So we can pivot very quickly as we learn.
So you, typically creators in the beginning were looking to build audiences, but you've built an entire operational infrastructure. I've been lucky enough to go to your studio, 125,000 square feet. It's super fun. I love it. Creator Day was amazing.
Thank you.
So when you're actually going through a real day at the studio, what does that look like? I'm sure every day is different, but typically, what does that look like?
Yeah, my role is evolving. First off, all credit to my team. They all work so hard. We have a complete turnkey system. And so whether it's from ideation to writing to designers who make the packaging, to producers, to casting, to wardrobe, to makeup, to stunt coordinators, to choreographers, to directors, shooters, gaffers, boomers, editors, not that boomers.
You took the words out of my mouth.
VFX artists, like we have an entire team that does everything from A to Z, including set deg and set building. And so we can move very quickly because we own the operation from A to Z. But also what happens is that we have strong collaboration between the teams because it's the same team you're working with constantly. Whereas traditional production, you get hired for a job, you scramble to put together a team. A lot of times you're meeting for the first time. Sometimes magic happens, but other times you are still trying to figure it out and get to know one another. So
but
for
it's
me,
seamless, basically. Like you have a shorthand, really.
For me, I focus a little bit less on one individual piece of content and more trying to build the company. And I think that's the key differentiator. So I'm more thinking, how can I get the right people in the right seats and then also create the right processes that allow them to succeed?
So actually, that's a great segue. You mentioned something during a interview, I believe, with Marcus Williams during your Creator Day. And so you were talking about the importance of getting brand creators and brand marketers in the room face to face. I think you've alluded to this in terms of all of those layers of red tape. Why do you think that's so important?
That's where the magic happens. Like when we did the Chief Kindness Officer activation with the NFL, I was actually personally able to talk about that with the CMO of the NFL, Tim Ellis. And I pitched this crazy idea that, hey, what about over 10 days, we did 10 different activations with creators, nonprofits, players, the organization, where we did acts of kindness, such as, we built an entire locker room for an underprivileged high school football team. Or we sent, a kid whose father passed away, and the last thing that the father promised promise was he's going to take his son to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Never got to fulfill that promise. Instead, we had that promise. We made that promise happen through the mom by surprising them with Super Bowl tickets.
Yeah.
So we created these really amazing experiences. Across those 10 days, we generated over 100 million impressions, 100 million views, 1 billion impressions.
I was going to say, yeah.
With the 94% positive sentiment from viewers, which is like unheard of, especially in sports. But that was only possible because I was able to communicate directly with Tim.
Yes.
Because could you imagine otherwise if I was pitching this idea and I had to go through,
yes.
right? Like they'd be like, what year are you talking about? 2028?
Yes, exactly.
Which at the time of this is 2 years from now. But like because Tim was able to have that direct conversation and he was willing to take chances, we were able to really create something special in a short amount of time.
Congratulations.
And Tim
That's
said it was the
amazing.
most successful activation that they've ever done with any creator. And we generated more views than companies that spent $5-10 million because ours was 100% organic.
Do you think that scares companies when they start to see those types of 10 days, 5 days, really quick turn, those types of opportunities come through?
I think you can be afraid in any environment, right? I think for sure. I don't want to dismiss that there are real concerns. People are losing jobs. Production space is shutting down. A lot of jobs are moving outside of California, going international, there's real things happening, and I'm very sensitive to that. So I want to say, yes, we are in a real situation where the industry is transforming.
Yes.
But with that also comes opportunity. Anytime there's disruption, there's opportunity. And so, some of the executives that I've been fortunate enough to meet with, the ones that are actually excited about what's happening, even if you're just telling yourself that, but you're on the cusp of how do I evolve? How do I stay relevant? How do we adapt to this new environment? Those are the ones that succeed.
It makes perfect sense. Yeah, fake it till you make it, really.
That's what I've been doing my whole time. I don't know when
You're doing pretty well.
Feel like I make it, but I'm still wondering what I'm doing here a lot of the time.
Are you allowed to share your exciting announcement today with Forbes?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's public news. So,
there you go.
I'm so grateful that Forbes, for 3 years in a row, chose me as the #2 top creator. So,
congratulations.
Yeah, big shout out to Steven over there, the influential team, Memo. They've been really incredible to work with. And, it's such an honor.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. So the past 12 months have been a breakout run for Dhar Mann Studios. What do the next 12 months look like? I know that's a long time, right? But 3, 6, 12 months.
Ultimately, from when I was starting making content from my small living room apartment, that was a few hundred square feet. And I was using friends and family members as actors, shooting everything on an iPhone. The mission was always to try to help one person get through tough times. So for me, regardless of how big things get, that's always the mission. So I'm always looking at how to create positive, inspirational, uplifting content because the world needs more of that than ever.
Amen.
And I think it's nice that our content shows that positivity really can win big on the internet. So, we're fortunate to continue to have opportunities to expand. Recently, we announced our partnership with Samsung, where we're the first creator to launch original content to over 100 million households on Samsung. We're not able to share numbers, but I'll just say that it's going very well.
Awesome.
We just announced a partnership with Fox where we have a 40 film partnership for vertical dramas. We are about to announce a couple more partnerships in the SVOD space that I'm really excited about. I'm looking at my agent, move it along.
He's like, quicker. Stop talking.
And then, we're working with some really exciting brands. We just got into podcasting. We're looking at our first acquisitions right now. So it's an exciting time.
That's amazing. Okay, we're short on time. Speaking of, last question.
Yeah.
If you could send every marketer downstairs, Sport Beach, we have hundreds of marketers and athletes, right, downstairs. If you could send them back to their office with one thing to change from your perspective, what would it be?
Rip up the ad brief.
Yes.
It's always that, I had a lady come up to me when I said that at the event you were at. She's like, Dhar, look at this DocuSign. It took me 17 signatures
I've been there.
to get this deal done with this creator. And whatever moment they were trying to hit had passed months ago. So the only way to really move fast and have real creativity is by having those direct one-on-one conversations.
Amen.
So rip up the old playbook.
Love it. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah,
it's been a
pleasure.
pleasure.
An honor. I appreciate it.